G'day folks, Chris McLean back with yet another episode, and in the studio today I have Alex from Digital Housing Solutions. And they do lead generation for home lenders and agents. Excited to hear all about how and why he does that. Alex, thanks for dropping by the show, mate. Pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it.
No, great to have you on. So take us back. We always like to start the journey, as all good journeys do, start at the beginning. So how did you step into Digital Housing Solutions? How did you start the business? Did you have sort of the marketing space beforehand? And then secondly, how'd you end up in the housing real estate niche?
Yeah, okay. So I think my journey is both a little typical and it's kind of just the ordinary life cycle of an agency owner, but also a little bit not. So to initiate my journey into marketing, it all started with me losing my sales job at the beginning of 2019 with Verizon. It was a very high paying position, 80K to 110K a year. And I was 19 years old at the time. So I was able to rise up the corporate ladder in my market here in Central Florida. And I got recruited by them. And because of just a series of misfortunate events, I ended up losing the job. And it literally threw a wrench in almost any sort of plan that I had. I wanted to propose to my girlfriend at the time. I ended up proposing a year and a half later after I got my money right. But regardless, it just threw a wrench into everything. So I had to figure something out. At the time, my girlfriend, she was the only one that was working. So I had to kind of just try some things out. I ended up learning a little bit about drop shipping, opened up a few stores, made a few $1,000s doing that. But the margins weren't great, and I didn't see the value. It wasn't producing that same sort of fulfillment that I was getting in direct sales through phone stores or through direct sales like Verizon, etc. I ended up going through a couple different courses and a couple mentorship calls that kind of led me to the understanding of agency life and how we could basically market using Facebook and Google ads for business owners. Tried that out a little bit. I had a couple restaurants, a couple gyms, and just a very diverse sort of agency. And I just didn't know where I wanted to be in regards to that. I ended up signing a luxury real estate agent somewhere in the middle of all that mess. And he signed me just a flat check of $6,000. And he said, yep, here's $6,000. I want you to do whatever you can in order to make this money back. And I said, okay, let's do it. Ran a couple Facebook ads, generated a bunch of leads. And he ended up closing on 2 deals, which basically netted him over $10,000 in GCI. That kind of gave me that sort of confidence boost to be like, okay, let me focus on the real estate niche, because if I'm able to take $6,000 and make it into, $12, $13, $14, $15,000, basically $1 in, $2 out, who wouldn't want to say yes to that?
Nice return.
And from that point on, we just started developing systems around, first of all, finding real estate agents and lenders to take our service on. And I'm not sure, Chris, if you want to learn a little bit more about kind of what we do on the back end to generate those leads and book those appointments on our own calendar to close deals and whatnot. But we started just pushing everything towards finding real estate agents, finding home lenders to basically hop on the phone with us and get them signed on so we can start generating them some leads, some specifically buyer and seller leads. We don't really mess with wholesalers or investors or anything like that. We simply work with professionals who are licensed and who are looking for, the average everyday buyer or the average everyday seller who's looking to buy or sell a home.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, nice, man. I like that the trial by fire approach of, hey, here's some money, make it back for me.
It was brutal. I'm telling you, because the pressure was on. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
he was the second real estate agent that I worked with. The first one, he was very new, and we were literally like, he was giving me just a couple $100 a week just to run ads. So once I got a testimonial from that first agent, I went, I kind of put some content out there on LinkedIn. He reached out to me and said, yeah, let's try it. And he wrote me $6K, and he said, make this back for me. I'm like, okay. And from there on, here we are.
Yeah, no, I love that. Love that trial by fire approach. But I think how you sort of came about this is, you said it's quite a usual story of a lot of agencies start, they got a bit of skill set in a bit of Facebook, a bit of LinkedIn. They maybe got a platform that they're really great at, or a craft that they're really great at, but then they kind of play around in a few different niches, a few different verticals before they really go, right, this is the one that's either, they said something that I can generate really good revenue, ROI for my clients, or just I just love this industry. I just love working with auto detailers because it's something that I'm passionate about. I just love working with window cleaners or whatever it is. You find that niche by trying out a few different things and then going, right, this is the one. This is it.
And I think a good agency owner, it really comes down to who you are providing the best result for. Like if you can provide an ROI and a decent ROI to somebody, and they come to you and be like, Alex, this is the best thing ever. I'm so happy I wrote you that $6,000 check, or a window tenter, or an auto detail, and you're telling, man, you brought me, 15 or 20 clients within the last month, and it's been a record month, and I'm buying my wife a new car, this and that. It's satisfying. So I think it's less about the niche, and it's more about where you are providing the most value. If you are benefiting someone, let's say I love real estate, right? Like I love real estate. I love everything to do with real estate, but I end up finding out that I'm making, solar professionals way more money. That would feel way more rewarding to me. And I would basically just revamp everything towards solar, or any other niche. It all, to me, I think it all should be about who you're providing the most value to, and who you're making the most money. Because this is marketing. Like you're supposed to. That's why we do what we do, is to make people money, and that's that's value right there.
Yeah. It's that nice combination of contribution, right? I can actually help somebody's business to grow. I'm actually contributing to somebody else's lifestyle, so growing somebody's business, but also I enjoy doing it. I'm good at it, and I can actually make them money as well. That's a nice balance to find. Yeah, so I think that's a nice approach. When you're thinking about what niche we talk about niches a lot. I think you talk about them a lot because that's really, they say that the riches are in the niches, although we say niches here in Australia. So riches in the niches doesn't quite have the same ring to it, but it's very, very true, right? That hyper focusing of, I do this thing for this person. It makes it much easier to actually become an expert in that space. Is that now what you've found, that now that you've worked with more and more real estate, when you get one year, like, I know exactly how to turn this business around. I know what I need to do. I know the verbiage I need to use, the copy I need to say. I know how to position it. Have you found that expertise has developed the more you've really honed in on these specific buyers?
Of course, obviously practice makes perfect. And, when you start getting into agency life, there's two paths that you can typically take. Okay. You can take the do it, for bare minimum, work for free, try to provide as much value as possible up front, and basically work yourself to the bone until you can finally, scrounge up a couple testimonials to start some serious outreach and start building a business. Or you could do what I did, and many other people that are within my circle, and basically just go, just dive straight into it. All right. Position yourself as an authority figure within that niche that you feel, at least that you feel that you're confident enough to provide results. Start off without trial, start off just going straight for it, honing your sales skills, and simply just basically putting yourself in a position where you have to succeed. And that's kind of, it kind of just happened to me where, this guy came to me and said, okay, I like your system. Here's $6,000. I could have simply told him, I'm not experienced enough. I don't know if I can provide you the results. I don't know what to do. So keep your $6,000. If I did that, Chris, I promise you, I would be probably like where I am now. I'd probably be a year behind in regards to my progress. But it was because of that additional confidence that I did, removing myself from imposter syndrome and just basically just diving straight into it, that forced me to just figure it out. How do I generate the leads? What sort of copy do I use? Should I partner up with somebody who knows, Facebook ads a little bit better? Who knows? I ended up doing that specifically. I ended up partnering with a real estate lead gen expert, and I ended up paying him a portion of the retainer in order to provide the result. But it led me to basically skyrocket my growth in the agency space in a short amount of time compared to what it would have if I simply took that, that trial route, just trying to figure it all by myself. No, go right into it. If you display confidence, remove yourself from that imposter syndrome, and you simply go close deals, you're going to find a way. If you are a genuine person and you genuinely want to provide a result, you're going to find a way. You're going to get into the Facebook groups. You're going to ask the right questions. You're going to partner with the right people, even if it means you got to give a portion of that profit. It's whatever it's going to take to provide that client an ROI, and then obviously capture that testimonial and go find another 10 like them and go make some money.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. Love that approach. I think that's super, super important too. That burning bridges approach can work. Sometimes you're literally like, I can only go forward, and I've got to ask better questions now, right? So that opens up your belief, you can literally ask better questions because you're just in a different perspective of, this guy's giving me money.
Yeah.
If I don't make him that money back, either I'm going to feel really bad, but I might have to pay him back. There's consequence, there's challenge. And now we've actually got to tap into that stuff, which, as an aside, is actually massively important for peak performance, right? When we actually stretch ourselves, we get outside of our comfort zones. That's when we start to perform better, when we kind of stretch ourselves out of, well, this is what I know, I'll just kind of keep doing that. When we stretch, like you said, we start to ask different questions. We get resourceful because we've got to figure this thing out, because there's some consequence back here that's, it's somebody else's money. There's somebody that's saying, hey, I need return on that money. How's it going? It kicks us into that challenge, and we're more willing to go out and find a way through. And that, over the long haul, as you said, that starts to catalyze a whole different mentality, right, and character. And it's something that is necessary as a business owner to learn that skill set, to have that ability to step into challenge and perform under pressure.
I'm going to say something that is not typically said when people first get into agency space. All right. This is a quote from one of my mentors and people that I've learned from a lot within the last 2.5 years in the agency space. You need to get money in hand. You need to know what your particular market wants out of a product that you're trying to provide. Because a lot of people, what they'll try to do, they'll have this idea in their head, right? They're going to be like, okay, I'm going to go after the law industry. I'm going to go after medical. I'm going to go after this or that. And then they create this product. They create ads. They spend hours and hours creating Google Docs, templates, and just a bunch of resources to try to help them once they get a client. And then they get the client and nothing works. Nothing works. They spend hours and hours creating this product, creating standard operating procedures to try to systemize everything, to make everything run silky smooth. And then they get the client and it just doesn't work. You're right back at square one. What I recommend for anyone who's trying to get into the agency space, or someone who is probably currently in the agency space and maybe not doing so well, or you're just looking for something new, literally go to your target market, hop on a Zoom call, see what they want. First, try to sell them on the idea of what the product is. And then once you have money in hand, go out and go build it, because that's what the market wants. Figure it out. Go be resourceful. This is what they want. They want, for example, in real estate, they want 100 leads for $3 a lead. And they want them qualified before, they ever hop on the phone with them. Great. I had to go figure out, okay, they want leads, but they also want them qualified. So we found out how to generate leads cheaply. And then we partnered with an ISA team in order to call the leads, qualify the leads. And now this is what the market wants. They don't just want leads. They want qualified leads. Great. Now I can go sell that. I can go package that up. I can go sell that to another 10 to 15 agents. And it's a lot better than spending hours and hours and hours thinking that you need to build this perfect product that they're going to love. And then you sign your first client on it and it just doesn't work, or the market just doesn't respond to it. I recommend hopping on the Zoom calls, start doing the hard stuff, start talking to your market, and try selling them. Try selling them on your idea before you ever go create it. Because if they don't want it, then what's the point of creating it beforehand?
Yeah. There's no point automating a vacuum, right? If you automate something that's broken and doesn't work in the first place, it's a lot of time and resource.
And I'm not saying go take their money and then, oh, hey, sorry, I lost it. No, if you
still got to deliver it.
Yeah, deliver. If you can't deliver, you refund that money. Okay, the internet is an amazing resource. It doesn't take even a penny to start, a Facebook page to start running ads from it. It doesn't. It doesn't take anything to start a free trial on a CRM and start plugging in, leads or customers for a business owner within that CRM. Like it's not that hard, but you need to first figure out if this is even something that your target market wants. And maybe it's not this market. Maybe it's someone else. Maybe it's a different niche. Maybe, instead of real estate agents, maybe it's, car dealerships that actually want this version of this sort of Facebook ads or Google ads product. It's, you got to do the hard things. You need to talk to people. And, overall, a lot of people don't understand this, is that agency life is not about geeks behind a computer. It's sales. You got to be good at sales. If you're not good at sales, if you're not good at talking to people, I don't know what to tell you. Either get better or go find someone and hire them on so that they can do it for you. And a lot of people, they're just simply not in the position to go hire a sales guy to start closing deals for them. And why should they? I believe as an agency owner, you should be able to do everything in part of your business before you start outsourcing it to someone else. Because, if you don't know what you're doing, how are they going to know what they're doing?
How are you going to understand what it actually takes? And it's important to understand what that thing takes to do, so you can, if you're getting a good deal on a VA or an outsource, right? If you don't know, it should take an hour, and they're coming in to take in 3 hours. Yeah. If you don't know what it should actually take to get that thing done. Yeah, really important point. I think is that validate before you, right? That work out if this is actually something somebody wants to buy first, and then build it for them. Ask them what they want. Validate that somebody actually wants this thing, that it solves a problem, a genuine challenge, a genuine problem. And then once somebody says, yeah, that's great, that's exactly what I want, then you build it, rather than exactly what you said is a lot of us come from, we've got this great idea. This is the thing. This product is going to be amazing. This service is what everyone should want. And I'm going to spend the next 6 months building the best website. Everything's perfect. It's pixel perfect. Everything's operated. It's hooked up to Stripe. Everything's ready to go. And you go to the market and no one actually wants to buy it, and you've wasted all this time and energy and effort. But it happens more often than not. Yeah. So we think we need the thing before we sell it, but there's that sort of flipped version of sell it first and build it second. Exactly. And you case in point of doing it that way and sort of having that trial by fire approach. It's kind of that combination, right? Now you've sold someone on the idea, they've given you the money. Now you've got that impetus and motivation to actually build the thing, and you're going to build it with exactly the solution that they want. And if one person wants it, it's likely that 1,000 people probably want it too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. So once you sort of started to onboard more and more clients, where are you at in the business now? Are you looking at scaling team? Are you looking at staying focused in that niche, systemizing? What's sort of for you?
So right now, because when it comes to agency life, there's 3 paths you can take. Okay, first you can focus on the sales side of things. Okay, you can simply lend your sales ability out to other people's products, and basically close retainers under your own kind of umbrella of business, and then obviously send the clients over to your white label partnership, and they will fulfill the service that you're selling. And a lot of people will try to basically build kind of like a sales sort of system around that, where you're selling multiple digital products, and now you've become more of a sales agency rather than a digital ads agency or a social media marketing agency, etc. You can take that path, and I think a lot of people are kind of leaning towards that path, especially those that are feeling that they are a lot better at sales. The second one, and this is kind of where I'm in right now, is where you kind of take everything under your own umbrella, and basically, you build out a team to do the ads, you build out a team to find you the clients, and you build out a sales team so that you are basically selling everything, and it's all under one umbrella. That's what a lot of, social media marketing agencies are about. And that's kind of how you take things to scale, is by building out those 3 processes. You got the outreach, maybe you're doing, you got softwares that are sending out automated messages and outbound. Maybe you got VAs that are doing cold email, cold social media messaging or cold calls or something like that, and bringing in appointments that way. Or maybe you're at the point where you're doing, Facebook ads for your own agency, and you're generating inbound appointments through ads. Once you get that client, now you got to put them on your calendar. You got to hop on the phone with them. That's, now you got the sales portion. After you sell them, now you got to fulfill the product. And, I find myself having my hands in too many buckets. I find myself trying to constantly manage the virtual assistants, constantly figure out new sales methods, changing up the offer in order to sell the product better. And then obviously always trying to refine the lead gen product to actually make it work better every single time that, we revisit it. It's too much. And then the third one is simply just being, the digital nerd behind the computer, doing everything digital based. You're the one doing the ads for different marketing agencies, and you're just hiring sales guys maybe to sell your product somewhere else. And those are the 3 different branches that you can go into. What I'm trying to do now is remove myself away from the fulfillment side of things and from the outreach side of things, and just focus on sales. If you're able to simply just stay behind a Zoom call all day and sell multiple digital products with appointments that have already been pre-booked on your calendar, on your sales team's calendar, or even appointments that you generated yourself through a virtual assistant that you hired through Fiverr or through one of these VA groups, and you're selling the product yourself, and then just simply handing the client off to whatever digital agency that is fulfilling the product. I feel like that's a lot more appealing to me, because I'm not a whiz, I'm not a computer whiz. I'm not too tech savvy in regards to, I might look it, but I'm not too into all that. I'm more of let's build a relationship over a computer screen, and let me sell you on something that's going to be of value and be benefit of you, whoever you is. So I think a lot of agency owners should really start thinking, especially if they're new, where they want to be in regards to that. Do they, are they more confident behind the computer and they feel like they can provide good results through Facebook ads, through Google ads? but they're not really too good at sales and they don't really want to manage a team of virtual assistants per se, that's fine. Go outsource or go out and find other agencies to take on your product and white label for them. I know a lot of people that are making $50K plus doing that. If you're more, sales orientated, go lend your sales service out to other agencies and basically tell them, hey, I'll book my own appointments. I'll find people who want your product and come up with a deal where you're just like, okay, hey, 50% of the retainer is going to go to you and you're going to fulfill the product, and 50% is going to go to me because I found the client and I sold them on your product. You can do that. Or you can do kind of what I'm doing and just do all three. And I'm telling you, I don't, when it comes to being an agency, you want to be able to build partnerships, and you want to be able to kind of create a system in things. And it's really hard to create a system when your hands are in all these different buckets. So Chris, in truth, where I'm at right now, I'm looking to revamp my agency and basically kind of shift focus to a more sales oriented agency where I'm selling other agency products. However, I'm generating my own leads in order to basically leverage a higher profit margin for myself and my sales guys. And that's kind of where I think the money is right now, is being able to take an already successful product and then basically just, be good at sales and sell that product for that agency owner.
Yeah. Awesome, man. And all of that starts with that it starts like great at what do I actually want to do? What am I the sales guy? Am I the coder? Am I the craft? Am I the artist? What am I actually the best at doing? And then understanding, well, let me do that, and then I'll get other people, I'll leverage other people and systems to get all that other stuff done. And then that's where you build the business from, rather than so a lot of us can build the business and sort of stick ourselves in the sales role and the design role and the fulfillment and the finance and the everything, right? And
I wouldn't recommend.
There's a point we do that, but at some point, like you said, where you're at now is like, I want to do this thing, so I'm going to delegate, eliminate, outsource the rest of it, so I can build a really great business and actually enjoy what I'm doing, because I'm doing the thing that I'm curious about, that I'm passionate about, that I want to be doing every day.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Yeah. Awesome stuff, man. I think there's a ton of value in there for people wherever they're at on the journey, but particularly when you're getting started, to just start from that place of self-awareness, not get too entrenched or too bought into the Instagram version of an agency and go, build a 7-figure agency in 90 days. That's me. Let's sign up and get the program, and really understand number one, is an agency the right mechanism for you to get where you want to go in your life? Yes, it is. Great. What type of agency do I want to run? What am I great at? And have that self-awareness to then be able to show up and do the thing that you want to do every day. Yeah, really, really, really good stuff, man. I like the way that you've laid that out for people as well. I think there's a lot of value in that. If people want to find out more about you, mate, where's the best place for them to come and get connected with you?
You can reach out to my email at alexander@digitalhousingsolution.com. I know my business is called Digital Housing Solutions, but that domain got blocked. So digitalhousingsolution.com. I'm not, and the reason why that you guys can reach me on social media is because I'm not on social media. My virtual assistants, they take care of my social media. They're doing outbound messaging through all my social media platforms. Your message will simply just get lost in all that and all that. So don't even bother. If you want to reach out to me, you can follow me on those social media platforms and see what I'm posting and just keep up to date. And even to replicate what I'm doing with those social media channels, because it's all orientated towards my niche of real estate and lenders. Copy it, and change it to whatever niche that you want to do. But if you want to reach out to me directly for either business inquiries or you just want to chat, hit me up on my business email and we'll get right to it.
Perfect. And I'll drop a link to that in the show notes so you can click that and go get connected with Alex. Really good stuff, man. Appreciate you spending the time here and dropping some knowledge on the people. Yeah, I think there's a lot to take away from what you've shared with us here today. Really good stuff. Very, very practical. Very practical, common sense stuff for people that are getting underway, or maybe they're a bit down the track and they're feeling a bit lost and confused with what they actually want to do with their agency. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for everyone that's been watching and listening. And until next time, thanks, Alex, for being here, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
All right, see you, man.